for the final part of this tutorial, I'm going to show you some of the basic effects. Go back to the Layers window and click on this F which I showed you before. It will bring up a variety of options. First, let's start with Drop Shadow. It'll bring up this new screen where you can adjust all the effects. For the Drop Shadow, what it does is it creates, well, a shadow behind your object. This is a very useful, interesting tool. You can adjust the angle of your shadow, and also you can adjust its size and spread and distance. And you'll notice a shadow forming behind Mario. And you can also adjust the shadow's opacity and find a blend that suits you. Now, one thing to remember with this is that if you have a shadow on one object, usually there will be other objects that should have shadows too to create a realistic feel. And all the shadows should be going in the same direction usually, even though in real life shadows don't always go in the same direction. Usually in your pictures, you're going to want to have the shadows go in the same direction to have consistency, and it just looks better. I usually have my shadows at around 160 degrees. That way they're going, on your project, they're going down and to the right. I usually think that that looks the best on projects, but whatever works for you and whatever you think looks good is what you should go with. Inner shadow is basically whenever an object has a shadow cast onto it. As you can see with Mario right here, it looks like there's a bit of a shadow on him, but sometimes this can be a bit finicky and it doesn't always look right. As you can see right here, the shadows don't look quite right. So inner shadow is not useful in every single case, so I wouldn't always recommend it. The next thing we'll look at is outer glow. This basically makes a glow around this layer. Give the glow various colors, and you can really mess around a lot with this. Now he has a blue glow around him, and you can adjust the spread, the size, and everything, and you'll have to experiment with this a bit before you get it how you want it. Outer glow is a lot like inner shadow, only instead of having a light behind it causing a shadow, it's as if there's a light in front of it shining onto it. As you can see here, it looks like Mario has a bright light in front of him shining on him, and this can be useful for a lot of different ways, obviously. We aren't going to get into the bevel and boss effects because those are a bit too complex for this tutorial, but we're going to finish up by looking at the color overlay. This basically allows you to have a cover, like a lens, over your project in any color you want, and this is good if you want to tint everything a specific color. See, now it's blue, and you can just do it with any color that you want. And then you can also adjust the opacity. So you can make it completely filled in or not very filled in at all, barely noticeable. This concludes the Photoshop Basics tutorial. Thanks to this tutorial, you should now have a basic grasp of Photoshop, what tools you can use, what variables you can control, and the various effects you can do. It will take some practice and trial and error before you can fully master this program, but hopefully this tutorial will give you some of the basics and groundwork. Thank you for your time.